I have never forgot the lesson of the gratitude stone, and will hold it in my hand often and bring to mind all of the things I am grateful for. The very act of doing again only brings more abundance into your life when done. I feel a deep connection with the Native American people, and far from the way they have been depicted in the film industry as being savages, this is not true. Back in a time before settlers arrived in their land and decided to massacre their people and steal their lands, they were a peace-loving people. Here is an example of a story I came across a few years ago about how an Indian tribe would treat a stranger or someone who showed up in their lives with nothing. They would give them a horse, blankets, clothes and food to help them in their time of need and see them okay until the next leg of their journey. Where is the savage there? And more often than not, the one who portrays someone as being one way is in fact that themselves. But as I mentioned earlier in the book, in order for mankind to evolve into a better world with a greater sense of peace, we all must forgive. As stated, forgiveness brings freedom, not only for the individual, but the community, the country, race, culture, or religion. All you need to do is apply it to the self and watch, like a pebble cast into the water, the waves ring out through society. Power-mad politicians I pay no mind. If I am not exposed to them through the media, then it cannot invoke an opinion in me that takes away from my peace and feeds the societal monster which is the power-mad politician. Like I mentioned, the karmic cycle, although they may not pull the trigger in war or overdose the sanctioned or oppressed, they are guilty. That is why I do not understand again for the life of me, a person in a position of power, would you not like to do right by your people and be loved instead of being detested for self-serving greed, of which everyone can see through now that nothing is hidden in this age of internet communications and social media? My advice here is pay them no mind. Do not feed the monster. Concentrate solely on your own spiritual well-being and let them play their games. If in your average day you attain peace of mind and your needs are met and you are good with God the Creator, rest easy. Is it worth the personal upset to even try to worry about getting angry or stressed out about something by its very purpose is designed to evoke such a reaction within you and spoil your peace of mind? I simply like, with any problems or issues that arrive in my life, sit and meditate and hand it back up to God, the Creator. My only job is to be happy, not to play their games, and I would advise for peace of mind for you to do the same. Incorporate this practice into your life and show these monsters that bad behaviour will not be tolerated or rewarded with your time or attention. Until there is a shift in focus and they do only good by the people they represent in every demographic. The very thought of a corrupt politician in a position of power can be very unnerving for someone who is spiritually awoke, because we see through them, their motives, their agendas, and feel for all who are affected by the implementation of their self-serving policies. But again, if as a spiritual collective we hand our dissatisfaction and disappointment in the abuse of power up to God the Creator, then He will bring forth His justice. That has happened in one way or another all throughout history. Do not worry, just get good with God the Creator yourself. Do you think the corrupt curry favour with God the Creator? No, their ultimate demise is all that awaits them, to be reincarnated back into a life as wretched as they deserve, for imposing their abusive ways on the good while in a position to do so instead of doing no good. Here I wish to address the point of social conditioning and help you with your awakening. I do not wish to offend anyone in the process, but it may. As you cannot please all of the people all of the time. This is a fact. Let me state, for example, that you are born and given a certain religion to live your life by, and a neighbour was born at the same time and given a different religion. This is not to serve either to their best purpose. It is a centuries-old tactic to divide and conquer a people. This scenario is all too prevalent in many world cultures. Reason being, it allows those in either a monarchical or political establishment to rule or govern without deposition or consequences, because the divided are too busy fighting petty fights with each other, backed up with further divisional tools like sports, football teams for example. I hope, if you were not aware of this, you are aware of just how you are being played, and this helps you awaken further. Again, I mean no offence. The choice is yours. Buy into a religion, be part of the herd which lives by its code. Despise all other religions, because only your God or Creator is the only one. Go along to a football match, wear the colours and play your part in being of the divisional arm of society. Or do you choose to be an individual? Yes, you have your spiritual beliefs in God, the Creator, but also be open to every other culture's version of God or the Creator as well, and ultimately understand that we are all one soul connected, and a race or people's culture, whether it be my race or culture or yours, is simply an illusionary test of your soul, so that you may prove to God or the Creator that you have learned this lesson, seeing past the superficial and into the soul. If you can do this, you break the chains of karma, and the choice to be reincarnated once you pass is contractually made between you and God the Creator, as opposed to karmic. As I mentioned earlier, karmic, you have no choice and live a life full of lessons until you learn the lessons. You may have to live many karmic lives until you have learned your lessons. And that is where I would advise you to study your astrology further. Tolerance, the ability to accept another race or culture without being influenced by generational intolerance, conditioned intolerance, and as mentioned, the herd mentality of hatred just because someone else hates. It is justified that you do the same. Again, I state here, remain on this karmic hamster wheel and you will not achieve a blessed life in your incarnation at present. Change your ways and accept God the Creator into a state of gratitude and witness your life change in front of you. It really is that simple. Take all I have written in this book so far and implement it into your life. The fact that you are reading this publication so far and on the journey, I would hope that it meant you wanted blessings and change in your life and current experiences. As we approach the latter stages of this book, I will touch again briefly on the two types of reincarnation. First one being the karmic, where for want of a better way to explain it, you did not do good in life, not in terms of gaining material wealth, but wealth of spirit, in recognising the difference between right and wrong, and of course tending to your spirituality and being aware of the higher influences of which affect everyday life. Now, I'm not saying you deliberately, consciously chose to do wrong throughout your life, but I am saying that you chose not to correct it. Please note that I am not addressing you in particular, but simply giving an example of what would result in a karmic return. In this case, you would be given a reincarnation of this karmic return with more obvious opportunities to address the lessons you failed in your previous incarnation upon the learning of your karmatic lessons. Again, you would pass, but your next incarnation would be contractual between you and God the Creator as to the life you wish to experience next time around, good or bad. I will go into this in more at length. The contractual reincarnation is when, after a period of time in heaven, you decide you would like to be born again onto the earthly plane. Now, having experienced heaven and then wishing to be born again, you are privy to the understanding of the life you will live here on earth. But as I stated earlier, Archangel Gabriel places his finger on the top lip below your nose and creates the indentation you can see or feel right now, should you choose to look for it, and in doing so keeps you from telling the secrets of heaven. But the Pisces, of which I am one, are privy to this knowledge, but live most of our lives talking in an almost foreign language to other people because this knowledge is often dismissed as madness. But the time has come on the planet for this knowledge to be known, not from a place of ego, but a place of service to God the Creator for the planet. It's up to you to take it or leave it, believe it or dismiss it. It is that is beyond my control. All I am aware of is my part in the plan with all I have learned in my life until now, and there is a calling in me to produce this book. I am no longer keeping this side of my personality secret, and its revelations may come as a surprise and maybe even a shock to people I know and society at large once it reaches the masses because of its content and subject matter covered. Again, I am not trying to be controversial, and like I have stated numerous times throughout the book, I only want to help you awaken and make this a better world for all. Here I wish to give you the gift of total freedom.